Hey guys, how are y'all doing? Welcome to my YouTube channel. I know I haven't been posting at all. I've been creating a bunch of videos, but I'm currently in an editing process for this one video from like a few weeks ago. And then I tried uploading a video for my wish haul and it never uploaded, unfortunately, but I was having issues with that. I haven't been making that much videos. I can't sleep right now, so I'm trying to create a video. And today's video is going to be on my diagnosis story. It just came through my head, and I can't sleep anyway, so might as well talk about it. So, I was 13 years old, heavy. Not too heavy, like overweight or obese, but I weighed around 150 pounds. And I was really tired, experiencing all these symptoms. I was lethargic, tired, weak. I was losing weight, and I became really pale, really thirsty, really hungry, to the point that I was eating a ton of food, and it was really bad. Well, I didn't think nothing of it. I just kept going on with my life because I could. There's nothing. I went to the doctors. They said I was fine. So I just kept going along. School started. I went to this concert, met Nick Jonas, which pretty cool. Started school. The first day of school happened, and my friend Kyle goes, "You lost a lot of weight. You look really good, Kaylee. Congrats." I'm like, "Thank you." To me, at that point, I didn't realize I was losing weight. I didn't see that in myself, because at that point, I looked healthy still. Alright, so I'm fine, I'm slim, I'm probably like 115 pounds by this point. Who actually knows, because I wasn't personally weighed. So I go about school, all that. I'm acing school, easy, going home, sleeping. We get to second semester, I think that's what they called in high school. I don't remember, I haven't been in high school in forever. But like, I believe it's second semester. Anyways, oh, this bug. Okay, we're gonna take this to a different style. Okay, so the second semester happens, and I'm in swim and health class. No biggie. I wear all my clothes are baggy. No biggie on that either. So, sorry, change of scenery, or however you pronounce that word. So, okay. So, sorry, I suck at vlogging. Where was I? Okay. So, oh yeah, second semester. So the second semester of school happens, my freshman year, and we started the swim section, and it was towards April, I think. Yeah. So when April hit, we had to start swimming. The very first week, well, we also ended up having to get these eye exams. We had, all freshmen had to do eye exams. I don't remember the exact reason why, but they didn't wash the cleanser when you're putting your eyes on it, so that left most of us freshmen getting pink eye. Alright, capiche, right? The day after Easter, I wake up with my eyes swollen shut. I couldn't open them. Pus was everywhere. I know, disgusting. Really disgusting details. And I remember my mom calling me in sick from school. And after being told that kids were coming up to me prior to this, asking if I was anorexic. We were in the swim, and the first day of swim, I didn't bring an actual bathing suit. like a one-piece like they wanted us to. I accidentally brought a two-piece. In this two-piece that I was wearing, the bikini, a girl asked me if I was even eating because I was bone thin. Like, there was no meat on my body. And I was like, yeah, I eat a lot. And at that point, at lunch, I was eating my hot food, hot lunch, or whatever you want to call it, along with someone else that did not want to eat, along with someone else's food. That's 3 people's worth of food that I was eating daily for just one meal. That's not healthy. And I was still just bone. So I didn't think nothing of it. I kept swimming. I was exhausted in that pool. Well, I brought up how we had to do the eye exams already. Going out of order. How dare I? Well, we did the eye exams. I got pink eye the day after Easter. Easter day, though, I ended up eating a whole entire bunny. Chocolate bunny. Larger than normal. It was a gigantic one. And I ate it, and along with all the other candy. And I went to bed, woke up with pink eye, was rushed to the doctor after Mom called me in. And while on the way to the doctor, my mom bought me an orange juice because I wasn't hungry. I only wanted an orange juice. And I took one sip. Alright, that's going to be details for later. So that I ended up drinking. I didn't even drink it fully. I think I only had one sip. Well, I ended up complaining about how every time I pee, I feel like I am being stabbed. And I asked my mom, can you bring that up to my doctor? Because at this time point, I wasn't comfortable talking about how I personally felt to my doctor. I stayed quiet in the doctor's office while I told my mom what to say to him. So she said, okay, I'll definitely bring that up. We're at the doctor's office. They call me in the back room, and they weigh me. Don't even say anything about my weight, but I noticed the weight. It's 92 pounds. I get put in the back room. I'm waiting for my doctor. They do all the things, acting nothing is wrong. Didn't even look at my old charts or anything like that. And my mom asks, I noticed that her weight was really low. She's been really, really skinny. Can we get the weight from like a long time ago? I'm like, yeah, sure. They pull it back and they notice the drastic weight that I lost. And my mom told them that I was feeling like I was being stabbed constantly. Even when I peed, I felt like I was being stabbed. Which, at that time, it hurt so bad. Like, every time I peed, I was in severe pain, which is not fun to go through. And it wasn't even just when I was peeing, it was every single day. The more weight I lost, the more I felt really ill, no matter how much I ate. And we listed the symptoms, all that I was having, and they asked me to pee in a cup. I peed in a cup, they swabbed it really fast, and they found a high content of ketones. Way more than a body's supposed to have. And they rushed back and they're like, Kaylee, we have to prick your finger. I don't care if you don't like needles. We don't have that much staff on hand. We have to prick it. I was really upset. I remember my mom holding me down just for one finger poke. So they did that, and my sugar read 477. That's really high. Not as high as a lot of other people's diagnosis stories go, but it was still high for a diabetic. So they told my mom, I am sorry. And my mom's like, has a relief, like, life, the hard parts of life just lifted off her shoulders. And she said, thank you. Because prior to that, it explains so much of my life growing up. Like, I've had the symptoms for years. It took just till my body shut down in order for me to be diagnosed. So they told my mom that I had type 1 diabetes. So they're like, you gotta take her to the hospital now. So my mom ended up taking me to Children's Hospital, where I was there for 3 days. The first day didn't go so well. They admitted me to the emergency room, and I remember them not having enough staff to hold me down to put the IV in, and my eyes were bleeding. Like, the tissue showed blood coming out of my eyes. No one was worried about my eyes at that point, though. They got a pregnant lady so that I wouldn't kick her. And they're like, she's the only one that can insert this IV. My mom pulled me aside and she's like, you better not hurt her, because if you do, you will kill that child. And because if anyone that knows me is, I love children. I love babies. They're the best things in the world. So I'm not going to hurt anyone that is pregnant at the time. But I was deathly afraid of needles. It took 8 people sometimes to hold me down. It's that bad. So I was nice enough. I did still kick, but I didn't kick her. I kicked the air. I wasn't having it. And after that, I was fine. I was getting IV drips to bring down my sugar, staying hydrated. Well, they eventually got me a room, and they kept doing tests to see if I was a diabetic. I passed. I'm fully a diabetic. All right. And this, it's just complicated and everything. Well, they're like, well, you have to learn how to do this. Everything was simple. The first day I learned how to do the needle calculations and everything to figure out how much insulin I'm supposed to give. Figured that out. The math was super easy. Now this is where they're like, oh, so you're gonna have to learn how to do this needle injection. I'm like, no. They're like, you have to learn this. You're not leaving the hospital until you can inject yourself and until your parents are allowed to inject you. I'm like, okay, just hand me the needle, and I injected myself. And that portion was fine. It's when other people were injecting me that I did not like. I was not comfortable until the last day for my parents to inject me. I wanted them to fully know how to do it before they actually did it, though. So they were able to, and I got to leave April 27th, 2011 from the hospital after the 3rd day of being there and being properly trained. And it was my dad's birthday, so that was beneficial. After that, though, like, it's not that bad of a diagnosis story compared to other people's stories. It could have been way worse. If I probably would have waited any longer, I probably would have slipped into DKA. Who knows? I probably wouldn't have been alive. I really am fortunate enough to have caught it in time. It's not that fun of a disease, and I wouldn't wish it on anyone in general. Honestly, I wish it never existed. And I'm like, okay, I get so many horrible comments every single day from people that don't know the disease, or coworkers come up to me and they're like, oh, what did you eat today? And I'm like, oh, ramen noodles. Oh, that's carbs. You can't have that. Yeah, I can. Like, I just hate it, honestly. And it's torture because it's been April 25th this year will be my 7-year mark with this disease, and it's not fun at all. Like, I wish I can live a normal life. There's days where I've tried. There's been months where I just stopped taking my sugar because I just want to be normal. And that's deadly. I can't be doing that. It's bad. But at the moment that I'm doing it, I feel fine. Like, I'm not trying to. It's just, I feel like at that moment, if I don't prick my finger, it won't matter. But in all honesty, it does. Once less. Okay, what happens if my sugar's 19? Like junior year, I ended up having a sugar reading of 19. I took my exam. We were doing finals my junior year, and I was taking my Algebra 2 final, alright? And I'm sitting at my desk. All of a sudden, I felt shaky. That day, I was supposed to walk home. It was my last period of the day. And back in high school, we did, like, for finals and everything, 2 classes a day. That, was it? Hold on. No, it was 3 classes a day, and then we got to go home. And I think so. I might be wrong. Anyways, so I ended up taking my exam. I felt fine. All of a sudden, after I turned the exam, I was super shaky. I felt really sick, and I felt like I was going to pass out any second. Fortunately enough, I actually had my kit on that day because I was supposed to walk home right after that class. And we're not supposed to, at my high school, we were not allowed to carry our medical supplies on us. But because I was walking home, I had to have it on me. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. I'm not allowed to go without it. But I was still on the needle therapy and everything, and I felt my eyes starting to roll to the back of my head, so I check it. My sugar read 19. And people were still taking their final, but it was a medical emergency at that point. So I turned to my teacher. I'm like, can you call the nurse? And she's like, why? What's going on? I'm like, can you call her? And I'm like, I feel like I'm about to pass out. And she tries calling the nurse. The nurse doesn't answer the phone. Great. She's like, well, I can't get a hold of the nurse. And I'm like, and then she was just going to let it go. I'm like, no. Call someone. Call anyone. I feel like I'm going to die. And she ended up calling the office, who found security guards. And we explained that I'm a diabetic and I needed sugar instantly. I had no sugar on me. I had no juice. I didn't have any medical supplies because I was a stupid diabetic. Didn't always carry that stuff on me. So I just happened to be fortunate enough to have my medical kit on me at that moment. Which I actually think it back to the story, I'm pretty sure it was the school's medical kit. It wasn't even my actual one that's at home at this point in time. So in a way, I wouldn't have been able to carry juice because the juices were in the nurse's office. So we ended up getting a security guard. I got 3 security guards all up, running up the stairs, one coming off the elevator to come get me. And I'm like, they're like, are you going to be able to walk down? I'm like, and I try to get up and I'm trying to walk and I almost fall. I'm like, no, there's no way. And I'm trying to keep my eyes open at this point. And all I hear is, keep your eyes open, keep your eyes open, keep your eyes open. You're almost there, you're almost there, you're almost there, from one of the security guards. And we ended up going to the nurse's office and knocking, and after a few minutes, the nurse came out. Like, where were you a few minutes ago? And we had to explain what's going on. She took my sugar again and was still at 19. And she gave me a chocolate milk because we've had issues where people were drinking my juices even though they were labeled my diabetic supplies and everything. Well, I ended up doing that, having chocolate milk, granola bars, trying to get my sugar up, and we had to call my mom to come get me because there was no way I was able to walk home. At that point, I think that was the closest I felt to dying. And as scary as that sounds, that's what this disease does. There's been plenty of times where I fucked up, or my mom fucked up, where I was given the wrong dosage of the wrong insulin. Now that I'm on my insulin pump, though, it's alright. Kind of, it's complicated because there's days where I forget I'm a diabetic, and as silly as that sounds, it's the device. A device is attached to me at all times, and sometimes you just forget it's there. And that makes me sound like a horrible, horrible diabetic. But I can't help it. There's days where I'm just trying to be just like anyone else out here, where I want to hide the fact that I'm ill, but I can't. I do it at times, but I'm not supposed to because that could kill me. It's just horrible. Alright, well, that's my diagnosis story. Yeah. Alright, bye.